It's time to take a trip around Australia's Sunshine State, Queensland, as we continue to take a look at some of the strangest town names that exist in the land down under.
Can you hear the thunder? Oh, you better run, you better take cover. Oh.
With places such as the Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast, Queensland is a tropical paradise. Think Florida or Southern California, and you've got the right climate. Queensland is home to 5 of Australia's 11 World Natural Heritage Sites, including one of the natural wonders of the world, the Great Barrier Reef. You'll also need to get used to drinking 4X beer and looking out for some of the country's most dangerous animals, including the cassowary, crocodiles, a bunch of deadly snakes, spiders and cane toads. But things aren't all bad. The state animal is the koala. As the second largest state in the country, it's almost exactly the same size as Alaska and 2.5 times the size of Texas. Before we head off, click that subscribe button for me to stay up to date with all of our from down under to down south craziness. But for now, let's jump in the ute, head out for a drive around the Sunshine State for some great food and amazing scenery. We start our journey right at the pointy end of the country and Thursday Island. The island has been populated for thousands of years by the Torres Strait Islander people and was given its current name by a very imaginative Royal Naval commander in 1848, who also named the nearby Wednesday Island and Friday Island. The islands are very close to Papua New Guinea, so close in fact that PNG tried to claim them in the 1970s, and it was only due to the islanders' insistence that they were Australians that the entire Torres Strait Island group remained part of the country. Having a tropical climate that averages in the mid-80s year-round, it features a pearl industry together with being the base for marine pilots who navigate ships through the extensive reef systems in the area. Crayfish pie is a local delicacy, caught locally. The ones served at the Ma Kai Cafe on Thursday Island are a food icon. 1,000 kilometres south of Thursday Island is the tourist city of Cairns. It's a region that is home to the iconic Great Barrier Reef and Wet Tropics World Heritage Rainforest. But the city of Cairns itself is also a must visit. You'll find brilliant cafes, bustling markets and plenty of beaches nearby. Whilst you might need to sink a few cans to stay cool in the tropical heat, the city was actually named after Sir William Cairns, following the discovery of gold in 1876 and is now home to more than 155,000 people. It's also home to the 7th busiest airport in Australia, with direct international flights including to Japan, Singapore and Hong Kong. During the Second World War, Allied forces used Cairns as a staging base and combat missions in support of the Battle of the Coral Sea were actually flown from out of here. It's the animals that you'll find around Cairns though that really are special to this part of the world. 100 kilometres north of the city is the Daintree Rainforest, and you'll see all sorts including crocodiles and cassowaries, tropical parrots and fish, and of course plenty of kangaroos and wallabies hopping around for your amusement as well. Fresh seafood is a must here with delicious locally caught king, banana and tiger prawns and fresh tropical fruit including some of the best mangoes in the world. You'll also find excellent Japanese, Malaysian and Indian cuisine as well as local delicacies like emu, kangaroo and crocodile. A 700 kilometre drive west from Cairns and on the shores of the Gulf of Carpentaria is the zinc mining town of Karumba, given the name by the local Aboriginal Wani people. It's gone from a small, sleepy outback town to a destination for anglers from all over the country to come to try their luck, with plenty of mud crabs and banana prawns too. Mark Grunsky's Crab and Croc Tours runs out of Karumba and it features crocodile spotting and feasting on freshly cooked mud crabs and sushi. The stories go that the local Aboriginal community there feed the Kadecha man, who is a witch doctor or medicine man. Many Aboriginals will not go to Karumba as they fear that the Kadecha man will shake the bones at them and put a curse on them. Ashes at the Point Cafe has been a local go-to as well for more than 35 years, and it features locally caught seafood together with crocodile burgers and prawn sandwiches. Another big trip 600 kilometres south of the Gulf is the mining town of Mount Isa. Known as Australia's rodeo capital, It's an outback oasis surrounded by red dirt soil and home to one of the most productive mines in the world. You'll find production of lead, silver, copper and zinc here, and can even tour some of the mines whilst in town. The riches in the soil were discovered by a lone prospector, John Miles, in 1923, who named the town after the Western Australian goldfields at Mount Ida. The annual rodeo is held in conjunction with the annual Mardi Gras, and the population of the Isa can triple some years when this is on. The rodeo itself has been run since 1959. Whilst in town, check out an Outback bush tour with an Indigenous guide who will focus on native food, herbal drinks and medicines used to treat common ailments. You can also taste some local bush tucker, including native passion fruit and widgety grubs. Goondiwindi, it's a long 18-hour drive south of the Isa and through Queensland's cattle country. It's a river town on the Queensland and New South Wales border and is a popular place to stop for those travelling interstate. Before Federation, travellers crossing over the border needed to pass through a border customs point. Customs House is still there today as a museum to the past. Goondiwindi produces a diverse range of crops and fibres and grows some of the best cotton in the world. The name was derived from the Aboriginal word Goondiwindi, meaning the resting place of the birds. Known as the Goondiwindi Grey, the champion thoroughbred Gunsind was also from here, a horse that finished third in the 1972 Melbourne Cup and had a 29 career wins all up. There's a memorial to the horse in the town, with the historic Victoria Hotel being the best place to eat and having a menu featuring Queensland beef from the Maranoa and Darling Downs districts of the state, but also showcasing other traditional Aussie pub foods. Headed northeast and about a 7-hour drive from Goondiwindi is the historic sugarcane city of Bundaberg. It's located at the southern point of the Great Barrier Reef and is just north of the state's capital, Brisbane. This is an area where you can watch baby loggerhead and green sea turtles hatch one day and blend your own rum at the famous Bundaberg distillery, which started in 1888, the next. The rum really is the big draw card for tourists, and it's known as Australia's unofficial national spirit, kind of like the Vegemite of alcohol. Known to Aussies just as Bundy, it has a 74% market share in Australia, but is sadly not sold in the United States. So whenever Aussie expats here are travelling home or have visitors coming to see them here, it's usually combined with a bottle of this liquid gold that is known famously for its polar bear logo and TV commercials just like this one.
G'day.
Yo, everybody! This is that Aussie dude I was telling you all about.
G'day, fellas.
Can I get you a drink?
Okay to BYO? Go ahead, check it out.
Whew! Hey, give me 5, man.
Easy, mate. Try one at a time.
Bundaberg sits in what's deemed the food bowl of Australia, and it has a delicious restaurant and cafe scene. You want to check out the Taste of Bundy Festival. It's an experience where you can try some of the best food in the country. A 400-kilometre drive west is the town of Banana. What makes this place a little more unusual is that there are no banana plantations in sight. Now, you would be forgiven for thinking that banana was named after the famous yellow fruit, but in fact it was named after a yellow bullock called Banana. Banana the bullock is said to have helped local stockmen herd wild cattle into the stockyards. When he died in the 1860s, the stockmen decided to name the area in his honour. There's even a statue of Banana in town. Australia has a habit of nicknaming people from various states, and Queenslanders in general are nicknamed banana benders. There's a couple of theories as to how they got the nickname, with one dating back to the gold rush in the 1800s, and the other, more common one, relates to the high number of bananas that grow in the state, but just not in the town of Banana itself. Headed back to the edges of the Sunshine Coast now, and we stop into Gympie. It received its name from the Aboriginal word Gympie, which means the stinging tree. The city was previously named Nashville after James Nash, who discovered gold in the area in 1867, but it was changed a year later to the current name. At the time of the gold discovery, Queensland was in the midst of a severe economic depression, and the gold saved the state from bankruptcy. It's also home to the annual Gympie Music Muster, which started in 1982 and has grown to become one of Australia's largest music festivals. Featuring country, bluegrass, rock and more, it's become an annual pilgrimage for many to attend, with the 2024 event hosting more than 50,000 people. The Gympie region is known as Australia's delicatessen, and there's something delicious growing there all year round. From fresh food markets to farm trails and to Tin Can Bay, which produces some of the best seafood in Queensland. It's off to the big city we head and the Brisbane suburb of Woolloongabba. It's home to the Brisbane Cricket Ground, which is more commonly known as the Gabba, where you can watch anything from the Aussie rules team, the Brisbane Lions, to international cricket and rugby. The name comes from the Aboriginal words Woolong and Gabba, which means fight talk place. The suburb is also home to the Princess Alexandra Hospital, which is one of Australia's leading teaching hospitals. The suburb is also known for having some of the best places to eat and drink in the city. From a speakeasy bar whose entrance is through an antique wardrobe, restaurants led by top Brisbane chefs, a traditional Indian food court, and a historic post office turned bar. High on the recommend list, Electric Avenue and Mrs. J. Rabbit's. Our final stop on this trip around the Sunshine State is an hour or so south to the Gold Coast and the suburb of Burleigh Heads. Sitting on the edge of the Coral Sea, it was originally called Burleigh Head in 1840 because of its large appearance from the ocean, but the name evolved over the years to its current form. Burleigh is famous for having one of the best beaches on the Gold Coast for swimming, bodyboarding and surfing, and it's a short 20 minutes drive from all of the action of Surfers Paradise and the excitement of one of Australia's premier destinations. Check out the Black Hops Brewery in Burleigh, which is also pet-friendly and serves up some of the best brews on the coast. It's also a slightly cheaper place to stay for your Gold Coast vacation, and yet it's close enough that transport is not an issue. You know, they say that Queensland is beautiful one day, perfect the next, and if you are the beach bum type like me, I'm sure that you would agree that there are very few places in the world that are as special as Queensland. Thanks for joining me on From Down Under to Down South, and I'll catch you next time. Stay safe, everyone.